Hello, welcome to Back to the City. Today I'm very excited to be joined by my friend Chad, aka LONGSHOT. Welcome. You're going to play at the first all hip hop Back to the City showcase, which is the final Thursday of this month, the 30th.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Maurice's birthday.
Maurice's birthday.
Yeah.
It's a lot to celebrate. At once. It is a Minneapolis style Lyricist lounge.
Yeah.
We have Rich Garvey to thank for coming up with that name for it.
Shout out.
Yeah, he's on the bill. But who else are you excited to play with at that?
I mean, obviously all the guys, but Jay Plaza, Chance
York.
Chance York,
yeah.
Not Chance the Rapper, which I really actually was confused when I first moved here.
From Chicago?
Yeah, because I'm from Chicago, so it was like, and Chance was like kind of, Chance the Rapper was just kind of just bubbling right as I was like leaving.
Yeah.
So I'd hear this name, and then when I got here, Chance was bubbling.
Yeah.
Here.
The two
Chance York.
chances. A tale of two
Yeah,
chances.
and I was like, who's gonna be like, Chance is gonna be at the show, and I'm like, oh sweet, that's the homie. He's from Chicago. Da, da, da. And they're like, no.
And then you got
He's
two homies.
Exactly. So it's dope. I love it.
A Tale of Two Chances, A Tale of Two Cities. The final track on your record with Laserbeak, which came out in 2018.
Yes.
Parades is called Going Home.
Yes.
And it is about Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ain't no city like my city. So that's a good entry point.
Yeah.
You were talking about moving to Minneapolis from Chicago, and now there's this celebration of fresh Twin Cities hip hop that we're going to be having at Mortimers on the 30th. What is there to celebrate about Twin City, about Minneapolis hip hop and or Chicago?
Let me just say first off that I'm super blessed, super fortunate to have been able to kind of develop my career in both cities.
Yeah.
I started out my first 12-inch, which is, I always like to say, was my introduction to the world. Happiness is Hard to Find came out in February of 2002 with DJ Anomaly. And, and then I moved here in 2009, March of 2009. So that's like, 8 years that I'd spent in Chicago just grinding away with EV Productions, with The Moment, Psalm 1, Diverse, and Vakil, and just all these amazing artists from Chicago Juice that helped create, help me get to where I was able to go, come to here.
Sure.
And then to come here and do what I've done, basically, as far as, like I said, developing my career. That's what I'm doing.
How did you make the decision to come to Minneapolis?
Psalm 1 is my soulmate, one of my best friends, and her involvement with Rhymesayers introduced me kind of behind the scenes with Rhymesayers.
Yeah.
The Moment, my boy Panic from The Moment really introduced me, like while we were recording my second album, Sacrifice. He's like, yo, there's a squad, Atmosphere, and they did this and they're this. And at that time, I was just like, man, I want to do that. I want to tour. I want to get out and I'll play for peanuts. I'll sleep on the floor. I'll sleep in the van. I don't care. I just want to get out and get the message out and get in front of people.
Yeah.
Because that's
true story.
Yeah. So that's what I've always hung my hat on, is my performance. So when he told me about that formula, I was like, let's do that, and so that's what kind of just been my MO ever since. Around that same time, I met Psalm, and we just instantly clicked.
Right.
And when we both took each other out on tour, I started out like, yo, I got this opportunity. You want to come out? She's like, yeah, let's do it. She signed her deal with Rhymesayers. I got this opportunity. You want to come out? Yeah, let's do it. And we did that for like 5 years, something like that, crazy hard, like in a row, like just going hard. And so getting to see that, developing a relationship with Toki Wright, and some of the other guys, it just you know, my time in Chicago contractually was coming to an end with the Moment and EV, and I just was like, I need a new air, new inspiration.
Yeah.
And the obvious choice is obviously all the time. It's like, go to LA, go to New York, you know, or go to Atlanta. In my heart and in my head, Rhymesayers was the equivalent of those things to me. That's how much respect I have for their business and just their stature in the game. I subsequently won I don't even know what you call it, it's like a remix songwriting contest that they had when they put out the Jake One album. I won that contest. So when that happened, I was like, I'm gonna turn my single deal into an album deal. I just love them so much, you know what I'm saying? I still do, you know. And so I was here. It just made sense to me to come here.
Yeah.
So I left literally on Biggie's death anniversary in 2009.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was here March 9th, 2009, and been here since and just been grinding and have been, like I said, super blessed to be able to have the city, just the scene, the community open its arms and just accept my music and support me and support my message and support my grind, and to be able to grow and learn from these different artists, be inspired by these different artists. We have the biggest pop star in the world right now that, you know, I've been able to sit down and write songs with and pick her brain.
Lizzo, of course.
Yeah. You know, and things like that. It's just great inspiration is what I mean. It's just great inspiration. And the same thing is in Chicago as well, you know.
Yeah.
I've had the amazing opportunities to sit down and work with some amazing artists. Rhymefest and Juice and Quell. And like I said, I'm super inspired by all of them.
Yeah.
And it makes me want to be better every day, so.
Absolutely. And then on this project, Laserbeak.
And then, yeah.
From Doomtree, of course. How did that collaboration come together?
So I fell in love with Laserbeak's production.
Me too.
Like in 2009, like I remember it. My boy Bob played me a video of Laserbeak like making a beat or something online. He like to YouTube or something, right? And I was just like, who's that? He's like, oh, that's Laserbeak from Doomtree. He's from here. It's like, what? And I'm not joking. Like that next week, I like reached out to Laserbeak and was like, hey, I don't know if you know me or heard about me. He's like, yeah, I know about you, man. Come up to the house. I'll make some beat CD for you and chop it up. Yeah,
how welcoming.
That's what I mean.
Just and that's indicative,
beautiful
isn't it?
people. Yeah, and then I found out. So I said I fell in love with the production of Laserbeak, and then I fell in love with the man of Laserbeak,
the human being.
Just from that, you know, him just being so open and such a great family guy, and then just a good person, you know. And then over the years, we just slowly and just built this relationship in terms of started out with like, let's do one song, you know, in terms of, there was never like, let's do this project. That actually wasn't in the beginning. I just wanted to do a song with them just because I love this production so much. So when he hit me with the beat CD, it was just like, that's a crazy blessing. Me, anybody who knows me, any producer, anybody in the industry who knows me, knows if you give this man a beat CD, I'm about to go in on like, you give me 10 beats, I'm probably about to make like 8 songs within that next like couple weeks and hit you off with like these demos, like, what do you think about these? And they're like, what the hell just happened?
And then creating.
And then we figure it out, right? Yeah, then we figure it out. And that kind of happened with Beak, but at that time, this was like when Doomtree, so we're talking like 2010, right? And Doomtree is in the real beginnings of like, we're making this happen. And so there just wasn't even enough time to even think about doing a project or anything like that. So that's why, again, I was just happy with just like, let's just do a song together, man. And so I think the first song that we did was Now. To get with it now, with Desdemona, for a mixtape that I did live from Great Bomb. I think that was the very first joint that we collaborated on, and then kept doing songs. We did a song week for an album of mine, I think like that next year or maybe a couple years later, touching on domestic violence, which is actually a really crazy tie-in to the whole Rhyme Sayers Jake One thing. So when I got the Jake One beats from Sadiq, I got a beat CD with 5 beats on it. You already know what I did. I made a song that all 5 beats, right? Mostly because like all the beats, they were all kind of cool beats, right? I couldn't pick one beat. So I was like, man, I can't pick one beat. So I'm gonna write, and they're all kind of different. So I'm gonna write a little demo to each beat. And that actually kind of worked in my favor because we were supposed to just do one song.
Sure.
And then we ended up doing 2 songs because I think once they sat down with Jake or however they did it, they kind of like, we like this one and this one, let's go in the studio and cut them, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
But the very first song that I actually wrote, it wasn't the song that you hear. It's called The Real Thing, one of the songs is. That's not the first song I wrote. The very first song I wrote was Weak, this Laserbeak collaboration that I put out years later.
Sure.
But it's talking about domestic violence, right? The chorus goes, which actually is kind of taking from, not kind of, I am taking basically this Biggie, what's beef? Beef is when you see your enemies in the street, right? So I flipped it. That's weak. Smacking in your girls, claiming G, that's weak. Beating on your woman in the streets, that's weak. I wrote that to the beat, to this Jake One beat, and I write this domestic abuse song, and I play it for one of my homies, and he's like, man, I don't know if that's the song you want to come out with, like on that platform, right? You're gonna have this big platform, it's Rhyme Sayers. Do you really want to come that dense out the box,
right,
like that? But I really should have, in my head, in my heart, I should have just stuck with what I should have stuck with, because all the time I always want to say the most important thing with the biggest platform that I have.
Yeah.
That's the point, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to talk about me.
Right. Yes.
Really?
And that's very evident.
That's why performing live is so important to me. It's an instant way for you to connect to whatever it is that I'm doing.
Yeah.
All of us artists.
Absolutely.
That message that you are getting over, it's an instant thing. You get to connect in whatever capacity that is right there, whether you're front row or you're back there with your phone or whatever it is, you're still live feeling that energy.
And you say all of us, and it's not just artists as well. So we have the song We Winnin', for example, on Parades. It's a very inclusive we. In the song before, Here for a Reason, I want us all to realize that we're here for a reason. And you're embodying that, manifesting that in your work as an artist, like in Here for a Reason, there's a focus on recognizing your self-worth. It's an example, you know, you're living with authenticity and putting out the
because I know my purpose.
You know your purpose.
But a lot of people don't, though.
Right, exactly.
And that's why it's important to celebrate. That's all this is. This is a celebration.
Yeah.
Parades is a celebration of life.
How did you hit upon the title? Parades?
Because it's a celebration of life.
Yeah.
So the actual song, the title song, Parades.
Rest in peace, it says at the beginning. And
rest in peace, human rights.
Yes, exactly.
Right? And it's literally, I want us to never forget all of those names that are the Rakia Boyd and Sandra Bland and Terrence Franklin and Fong Lee and Philando. Like, never forget any of these names, and the list keeps going today. Today it's going to get added to. Never forget these names, but never forget the spirit in which they lived, you know?
Yep. Let's celebrate the precious lives that they took too soon.
They never got to see their flowers grow and blossom fully. And that's what we are. That's what the celebration is. Like, let's keep their spirit alive by how we live.
Yeah.
You know, and
that is a blossoming.
Yeah, and we are the flowers. We are the flowers for the living, right? You know, it's important for us to, while these people are here, let's not just do it when they're gone. Let's not. I know it's gonna happen, and it happens, but let's do it while we're here. Let's give these people the opportunities to smell us and watch us grow and contribute to their growth and contribute to their successes and what they want to do, because we're all inspiration for each other.
Well,
That's
yeah.
what it is.
The ethos, I think, is radically inclusive. Like every single person, when you say here for a reason, you know, if you pay attention to the lyrics, again and again it's emphasizing, yes, really, every single one of you, every single one of us.
It's inside of us. Again, there's the song
Inside of you.
These, I'm not making these. I'm like, I have a lot of fun with the music, right? But when I sit down and I'm like consciously trying to put things together, even my sets. When you look at my set, like if you read just the name of the songs that I choose for a set.
Is it trajectory?
Yeah, because it's going to tell a story in just what the names are.
Right.
And then if you listen to the songs and then how they follow out and the energy of those, it's going to all come out. And that's the same thing with these. It's inside of you. You're here for a reason. It's inside of you. Actually, I don't know if you have a CD, but if you have a CD, on the inside of the CD, I wrote this little paragraph that ties all the songs together. And like, you know, starting from the first song to the last song, right? Because we're all going home. I forget, what's the first song?
Just Dance.
Just Dance,
Just
right?
Dance.
Yep. Just Dance too. Just Dance.
Just Dance.
Just Dance because, you know.
Yeah. What is the significance of dancing? It's not arbitrary. That it's not just like, okay, there's a serious meaning, but then there's also lots of fun. It's more coherent.
It is literally
in that, isn't it?
There's something just so amazing and vulnerable and freeing.
Yeah.
And artistic, and even if you're not good, when you dance, right? It's such
good dancing.
It's relief. It's therapeutic.
Yes.
Good dancing, just a good shake of your body and just letting things go, and just not caring about things, right? Not caring about anything, because
there's a deep seriousness to that.
Yes,
so it's successful not caring.
Yep, and that's a place where you can really practice that whole shake it off for real. Like, let's really, literally, and mentally, you know, just let these things go that are bogging us down throughout the week. Man, I'm not good, but I love to dance.
You are good.
I love to dance.
You're good by this standard, which is
love to dance.
In my perspective, also the one.
But I love to dance, just to get and just again, I feel like energy and spreading love and spreading good energy is contagious. And
it is.
You know, as a performer and as an artist, if you're up there just kind of rigid and kind of just rapping at people, like, what the hell? No.
Yeah, performative.
You got to give them something. Give them.
Inviting the celebratory ethos of participation.
Yeah.
We are all in it together.
Yes.
So there will be dancing. There will be dancing.
Oh, plenty of it.
Yes. I will be dancing. Many of us will be dancing together. Hitting the flow. There's an emphasis on flow right from the get-go in the song Just Dance. We've been kind of talking about the existential, spiritual significance of dancing and the letting go that can happen. In the bio, where it says, this song bursts at the seams with crunchy organ stabs and dusty breakbeats, courtesy of Laserbeak, with you inviting us all to temporarily drop our hang-ups and let loose over a raucous Laserbeak lava banger. What is the relationship between letting go is with talking about it there, the kind of letting go that can happen at this event at Mortimers, and the letting go that's happening in Let Him Go, which is a song right at the center of the record.
Yeah. Well, again, it's seriously just ties back to parades and celebration, right? So letting go of hang-ups, letting go of stress,
Whatever holds
when
them back.
dancing.
Yeah.
That's celebrating, right? I'm like, ooh, it's Friday, I just got paid, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
I ain't gotta work now.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm alive.
Yep, I'm alive.
And
Let him go is a way of celebrating yourself.
Yeah.
Right? When you are strong enough
Mm-hmm.
to recognize someone is not good for you.
Yeah.
Whether that's a friendship,
Yeah.
love. I talked about love, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you listen to those first two verses, right? I'm talking about young women having to make choices about, I'm a mother, I'm gonna be a single mother. This is the one person that I saw myself with. I've always saw myself raising my child with another person.
Mm-hmm.
I would never be a single mother, you know what I'm saying? But now you have to make this choice because he's constantly laying hands on you. He's constantly,
there isn't the respect.
there's no respect, right?
Yeah.
So you have to make this choice, right? But then if you listen to the third verse, it's very how I started out. I am not perfect, right? I've made my mistakes, broke a couple hearts, had my heart smashed into itty bitty parts.
Mm-hmm.
Pieces of a soul in the sun, dry and cold. Lovers come, lovers go. This is how the spirit grows.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's how you celebrate yourself. You gotta let it go, right? We're not perfect, right? We're gonna learn from each and every one of these interactions and these experiences and these relationships, but you have to be man and or woman enough
Mm-hmm.
to stand up for yourself and say, that's enough.
To recognize when
That's
isn't
enough.
the respect.
Yeah,
when
I have to
there
love
isn't the
myself now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not doing it at all or well enough or
Absolutely.
enough or whatever the case
Yeah,
may
I
be.
think there's a really
And so throw a parade for yourself when you do that.
fair parade.
And that's what
Yeah.
literally all this is about. It's just about a celebration of self, of life, of
Yeah.
people, of spirits, of energy. A
Yeah.
celebration of the universe giving us everything that we need. We just need to be open enough to listen and grasp it. And again, big enough to accept things when we aren't living up to who we really want to be or who we really are. Who we really are put on this earth to be.
Yeah.
When we're here for a reason, each and every one of us.
Yes.
Each and every one of us.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the reassurance, the confidence with which you're asserting that there is a path to all those who feel lost in the song Here for a Reason. For all those who feel that they've lost their way, I promise there is a path. And the recurring, authentic, deep message is just all you have to do is believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be cast in a role.
And I don't want that
by
to
someone
sound
else.
cheesy or nothing like that, man. But it is. It's a lot of self-belief. You ask all the greats of any industry. Ask anyone, and I mean, when I say the greats, I'm not talking about the CEOs. I'm talking about the janitor who been at that damn job for 30 years. But he gives it his all. They talk about that dude like he is what's keeping that institution alive. That janitor.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the greats. How's he done it? He believes in himself. He's doing that for a reason. He ain't a janitor just to be a janitor. These people have, I know people have things inside of them that sometimes their life situations, you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when, like I say, I feel super blessed to be able to wake up and do what I want to do. I get to do this every day. I don't have kids. I don't have a wife, you know what I mean? Like, and granted, yeah, I have family and things that I'm taking care of and do, but at the end of the day, I'm blessed to be living my life's passion.
Yeah.
I don't have to settle.
We've all got our problems. We all want to be free, is a lyric inside of you. And there's a recurring focus on freedom and how it's achieved through this discovering and leaning more and more into one's path, which we each discover on our own. But then once this is established, then there's this interesting exploration throughout of like the interdependence as opposed to codependence that can follow. What is the record saying about freedom? We all want to be free, and we can sometimes be impediments to each other's discovery of autonomy and freedom, but we can also assist one another? What's the record saying about freedom and how to discover it?
Look inside and then work outward.
Yeah.
Right? Again, spreading love, spreading good energy. It changes up to us just search inside. The secret of success is to work and try.
Yeah.
These are just simple things, right? And again, I'm trying to just make things relatable.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make things sound cheesy or anything like that. And that's for me, that's the creative part about this whole thing. Sometimes there are artists who are like so smart and their music is so abstract that I just don't get it. Right? It's really good and it's dope, but I actually just don't like get everything that's going on now. And that's the great thing about music and art, right? It's your interpretation. And but I also think that sometimes like the best artists to me, my favorite artists, they're still being creative, but I can digest it and I can still chew it and I can still be like, whoa. And I need to even go back and listen again and again and again and break it down in my, and that's kind of what I like to do in my music. That's one of my signatures in writing and in being creative is like, I want things that people can grasp onto, but still be creative enough where it's like, oh, that's dope. You know what I'm saying?
So we take these simple, relatable, universal truths.
The secret of success is to work and try.
Yeah.
And so how can I say that in a cool way, or how can I put this in? How do I fit that in what the message is of whatever we're talking about on this beat, in this particular melody, and and match it with what Laserbeak's doing.
How can you say it in the way that only you can say it at that moment in collaboration with
and that's part of the freedom, right?
Yeah.
That's part of the freedom. That's part of the freedom that we all are seeking, right? That's the freedom that I fight for and work for as an artist. That's the freedom that that a lot artists want to be able to have as independents, or when they're working with other artists. It's like, do I have that freedom to kind of work and say what I want to say and feel how I want to feel? But again, like it's a bigger picture of like, there's people out here who got loved ones locked up, spent their whole life locked up, you know what I'm saying? They can't vote, and there's kids out here who like can't get free lunch at school, or like go hungry. They have to go to after school to get a meal, to get dinner, and don't get the same opportunities as far as like tutors, and those are freedoms being taken away from people.
Yeah.
We can't get the same mental health care opportunities. That's a freedom taken away.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a bigger picture. And when I say just look inside, at the end of the day, I always feel like no matter what we come out of, if we are able-minded and able-bodied, we can fight for a better place. We can. I'm a DCFS kid, Department of Children and Family Services. I got taken from my mom when I was 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, odds stacked against me to obviously go to prison, be a thief, go join gangs and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I think I turned out pretty good, you know what I'm saying? And it's because of my internal fortitude to want better, want more for myself. And I'm not perfect, and I'm not nothing. I'm just someone who's working. I'm an artist who's working hard to fulfill my goals, but also inspire and help out other people along the way,
and make them realize that they are that too.
Yep.
Everyone is.
Yep. We can achieve freedom by doing those things, loving ourselves and living our best life, and then also helping people realize that for themselves.
Right. And the more that you do it for yourself, the more you are doing it for others.
And
too.
the more I'm going to feel free and feel good and feel happy. And
I got dreams. I got things I want to do with my life. This is my true story. What I love about that song, True Story, is that it's encouraging each person to look at the details of their life and recognize in the specificity there of what already exists,
Mm-hmm.
that they are on a path. There's a specific path for them, and they are the only. Each person is the only person that can like truly sense the rightness and navigate. Yeah.
And tell the story.
And tell the story,
Yeah,
and own the
live it,
story,
yeah.
and be the protagonist.
Yep.
Yeah, and then but we can all become the protagonists in this wonderful, rich
Mm-hmm.
web of a narrative.
And it's shout out to Ashley Gold. You know, it again, it's just it's important to know our own self-worth. You know, it's important to know who we are and the things that we are capable of, and just to know that I played sports a lot in high school, and one of the things one of my coaches said is hard work isn't a guarantee for success, but without it, you give yourself 50% less of a chance to succeed.
Right.
So if you don't even work hard, you're not even giving yourself 50% of a chance. You're just not even giving yourself a chance if you don't work hard.
Do the work.
So at least do the work, right? At least do the work, and then whatever else happens, and what the work will provide for you will be things beyond the things that you would have even imagined for yourself. And that's why you got to even just do it, you know, because I know where I'll be if I stop. If I just sit home, I know what's going to happen. I know what the results will be. You know, me and Laserbeak just sat the other day and came up with a plan that literally goes from the day we just sat down. I'm shooting shots for a video on Thursday with Mercy's May.
Oh, sure.
And
awesome. For a song on Parades?
For Parades, actually. It's going to be the last installment. We're going to close that chapter on Parades, and we've already started with the next joint. And so...
You and Beak.
Yeah. And so that literally started from like January 2020 to like, we're going into February of 2021. So we literally month by month just planned out what do we need to do
chapter.
To get to February 2021.
Yeah.
You know, and so you got to just put in the work.